Welcome to Live Breathe Film, episode 76. You're here with Corey, Doug, and Murph. Thank you for joining us. Today we're going to talk a bunch of random movies, TV shows of late. Halloween Ends, Terrifier 2, the season or series finale of She-Hulk, Turning Out Law, not sure which, the season 1 finale of House of the Dragon, and the season premiere of The White Lotus, Sicily. In addition to that, we'll talk general box office updates, along with some thoughts on trailers for some upcoming movies that have recently been released in regards to movies that we've picked in the pool. And then and that's Avatar. We're going to talk about Avatar. And then we're going to get into James Cameron and not James Cameron. God damn it, Doug! I did the same thing you did. We're going to talk about James Gunn. James Cameron would not take over DC Studios. That is not a job he wants. We will talk about
that would be pretty great, though.
It would be amusing to watch. We will talk about James Gunn and Peter Safran, co-helming DC Studios after that announcement just dropped this week. So let's start with some films. Halloween Ends. Well, that was a bold experiment. Not what people were expecting in a finale to a Michael Myers, Laurie Strode saga. It was very much its own thing. And I don't think anyone expected it. And frankly, the reactions have been pretty funny because people are not happy. Jamie Lee Curtis said people would be pissed off by this movie, and yeah, she was right. We did not get Michael Myers versus Laurie Strode until the last act of the movie. Instead, we got a dark romance between a brand new character and Laurie Strode's granddaughter.
Granddaughter,
yeah. And yeah, Michael just sort of being a sad boy in the sewers, and yeah, the murder's coming from somebody else. So it was very different for a Halloween movie. Did it work for you, Corey?
I'm not sure if I'm gonna say I liked it. I thought it was very interesting because it was so different. Like, I didn't know what to expect. I was like, what is going on here? I did like Corey, the new character. I know a lot of people didn't. I thought he was an interesting character. I thought his dynamic with Laurie's granddaughter, forgot her name, Allison, right? I think that's her name. I thought they were interesting together. I thought the story was pretty well put together. It just wasn't a Halloween movie. Like, it wasn't at all. Like, it didn't feel like one. It just seemed, like you said, it was his own thing. But I did overall, at the time, I think I enjoyed just it being so unexpected. The part that I probably liked the least was the last act. Like, after it went to like Halloween, all that stuff I thought was kind of throwaway for me, which it was when it became a Halloween movie. I thought that was mishandled, the way it kind of like finished the trilogy.
Yeah, at that point, just like finish telling the story you're telling versus just reverting to the tried and true fan service type story. Because yeah, it was incredibly disjointed. I mean, for me, I don't think I realized how much I didn't care about an ending to Laurie and Michael, because I've seen it so many goddamn times already, until like we got to that final third of the movie, or probably even less than a third of the movie, and I was just like, I'd rather have just seen the rest of the story that you were trying to tell, because like the 2018 Halloween movie did Laurie versus Michael so much better than this one did in the brief period that it did. So yeah, I didn't really have a problem with the story that they told. I thought it was kind of a bold move. It probably would have made more sense if they did this one in place of Halloween Kills and then went back to the usual for the finale, versus introducing this new character and telling this whole new story in the final part of the series. It was kind of very, I said this to you, I think, it kind of reminded me of like Jurassic World Dominion, where like everything's like set up for like the final like battle, and then they just do this entirely new thing. Like Jurassic World sets up dinosaurs on Earth, but then it focuses on these new locusts, and in the final act puts the whole gang versus dinosaurs again. So that's what it reminded me of.
It's like almost like kind of like a Trojan horse in a way, like to just do something different, like make your own story, but then kind of like go back to, the tried and true in the end. But it makes it disjointed. Like it's
yeah, there was no plan.
Didn't work in that way.
There was clearly no plan to this trilogy. Even, I mean, you could probably make the argument that there was less of a plan than the latest Star Wars trilogy.
Maybe, yeah.
Based on how it just does not flow remotely. Like from 2 to 3, 1 and 2, like it flows to a degree, but then 3 like just is 100% its own thing.
Yeah, it takes place a couple years later. Like it's like really far removed. The one thing that I actually did like was I liked how Haddonfield changed so much and got so dark just because of everything that happened with Michael. Mm-hmm. Like it was like almost like a sickness like took over the town. Like everything that happened in Kills, like, and the first one, those ramifications like really changed everyone in that town for the worst. I thought that was cool. That was a cool change of pace, but it just did not feel like a Halloween movie. Like Michael didn't show up for like at least a half hour into that film, and he was, like you said, sad boy in the sewer.
Yeah, he's getting his fucking mask stolen from him. It was embarrassing to watch. But he eventually gains his powers back. And
that was weird too. Like it was like a supernatural like aspect.
It was how Michael gets his groove back. Like he needed to get some kills in him, and then as it happens,
he's like he absorbs like I don't know, because with Corey, it seemed like they were trying to imply that some of him was passing into Corey. At least that's how I took it.
Yeah, everyone's taking it in different ways. I didn't take it as any power went from him or anything like that.
Because they had that moment where they shared.
Snap.
Mm-hmm. They had that moment where they shared like memories, like that. It was just weird.
I don't know. Yeah, it's gonna be fun watching the conversations about this movie till I guess the end of our lives. People will be talking about this if they're fans of the series. But I guess another series that gave the fans what they wanted in the slasher genre this month was Terrifier 2. So this one was pretty epic. The first Terrifier was just like a bare bones. This character, this new slasher icon, Art the Clown, chasing down a few women and brutally killing them. All set in like basically one location. Meanwhile, they came in with a crowdfunded sequel that is bigger in every way. It's practically like double the length. It has like a protagonist that you're equally as invested in as the villain this time. It expands the mythology and all that. And it was just a much better movie. Like you can see the money that was put on the screen. It was something that they started filming it like before the COVID outbreak and then had to resume way after. So this is like years in the making. I think the original came out in 2016. Mm-hmm. So this one they must have started in 2019 or early 2020. But yeah, I hated the first one. I thought it was like just mean-spirited trash. But the second one, like, while still dark, really fucked up and mean-spirited to a degree, there was a lot more you could get behind and be invested in from the protagonist side, and thought it just did a better job in that respect. Even if it got it's getting way too goofy in my opinion as far as like the way the mythology's going, but it's entertaining compared to the first one, which I didn't think was very entertaining.
It's definitely getting goofy, but I'm kind of on board because it's just so ridiculous that they're building like this mythology. Like, what the fuck is Art the Clown? Like, is he a demon? Is what no one knows, and they don't explain it. But I like how
first, and then for some reason he's being brought back to life. I don't fucking understand why.
Yeah, and the one thing that I did like was that they started, because obviously the first one was just, it didn't really have a story. There was no mythology. It was just him going around killing women, what have you. But in this one, like, he starts to build like this mythology and like these things, but not really telling you where everything is going, kind of leaving it open, knowing that he's going to go back to a lot of this stuff probably in the next one. And if they make another one after that, whatever. But like planting these seeds, even though it is ridiculous, a lot of the stuff that happens in that movie. But I guess it's because I enjoyed the characters quite a bit, especially the lead protagonist, Lauren Laverna, I think that was her name, who played Sienna. She was really strong. Like, her and the brother, I thought were really, really good together. And the story as a whole was entertaining. Way more entertaining than I expected it to be, for like an Art the Clown Terrifier film. And it was shot really well. Like, for the amount of money that movie cost, it's pretty crazy that, you know, they were able to do all the things that they were able to do, especially the length.
Yeah, and they're definitely going to get a bigger budget for a sequel. Like, studios will probably back a sequel at this point now, because this is like the box office story of the past month.
People love it.
I do not think I don't know if we even had on our list of movies to choose from, because it was supposed to be like a 2-day only, or like a 1 week only run in like select theaters, but it has expanded every week since, made more money, or stayed even every week since. It's been pretty cool to watch, because slashers and horror movies typically dive bomb after their first weekend. But this one, granted, it was making small amounts of money. It's grown each week.
Yeah, and I think it cost like maybe a little bit over $100,000 for them to make, and the movie's made like over $20 million probably at this point. Like, pretty crazy.
Something like that. I think it's made. I'll pull up the exact numbers. I think it's around like 10 million. So is that 7.8 million, and it was cost 250,000. So it's a massive success.
Yeah. And we didn't even talk about Thomas Howard Thornton, I think that's his name, who plays Art the Clown. And he was like, he's so good, especially for a character that doesn't talk. Like, really, like, kills it.
Yeah, no, he's created a new horror icon. I imagine this will eventually have its spot at like Halloween Horror Nights in Universal. Probably be super gory and popular. That's probably when Doug will catch up with what it is. But this movie's definitely not for everyone. I think that the reports of people throwing up and passing out absolutely made it like a phenomenon in like the like horror scene, with people like, all right, I need to check this out. Because even after the first one, which I didn't like, I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to see like how they went up this in the second one.
Yeah, and they definitely. I mean, I don't know if it's gorier than the first one, but it's definitely more elaborate with the stuff that they do.
Yeah, I'd say it's gorier as well.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, I think because I would say it's gorier.
Like the set pieces are crazier without a doubt. But I'm like kind of on the fence if it's because the first one was just so fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah, like the first one has the hacksaw scene, which is fucking disgusting. Yeah. But the second one has that scene in the bedroom, which is like so goddamn insane. But yeah, I can't believe I will actually see a third one when it comes out.
They got you.
They somehow got me. I did not see it coming. So good work, Damien Leone. Is that the director's name?
I think so. Yeah.
Well done, sir.
And filmed in New Jersey, which I did not know about until the other day. It's filmed down the shore.
Yeah, this is true. But yeah, how about we pivot to some TV shows? You guys want to talk about the House of the Dragon finale?
Sure. Yeah, Doug, what did you think about it?
Or I think you were on like the last episode or two after our last episode.
Yeah, I thought the last episode. I thought overall it ended pretty strong. I think it was a strong series overall. 9 and 10 weren't my. So those were the last two episodes. They weren't my top episodes, but I thought that it was interesting how they did it with episode 9 being the death of the king, and kind of what that means for the Greens, and just saw everything from their perspective at King's Landing and basically the plan unfolding to take over the throne, which kind of had like a kind of reminded me of Game of Thrones, like when they chop off Ned Stark's head and you kind of had the Lannisters take over the throne, except for this seemed a little bit more coordinated, I guess. But I thought that was all pretty well done. And then episode 10, we had basically the perspective of the blacks, and really the whole thing pretty much just takes place from their perspective. We had another pretty gruesome childbirth scene, which I think I could do without next season.
Yeah,
when that comes out, we've seen like probably the most gruesome childbearing scenes I think I've ever seen in a show has been multiple times throughout this first season.
I don't know if it's worse than Prometheus, but it's up there.
What's so gruesome about it?
Well, you had it was the first episode. You had a stillbirth where they had to cut the baby out from the stomach. And then you have this like strong female character, Rhaenyra, who's like going through childbirth, but like doesn't want any help or anything, and so you just have like the fluids gushing out and blood, and they don't like hold anything back, so it's pretty
Got it.
Yeah. And I'd say there's at least 4 scenes in this season in different episodes of gruesome childbirths. Seems like kind of a lot to me, but yeah, I don't know. I guess the new birth control can be watching House of the Dragon.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely it was gory, and it was excessive, especially in that last episode.
Yeah, but I mean, I thought all the acting's been pretty good. I still have the complaints about some of the time jumps and the aging doesn't really work when you jump 20 years and people look exactly the same, but their hair is a little different. It's kind of weird to me still. But I thought some things they did really well, like Vagar, is that the name of the dragon? Vagar, the like giant dragon in the show.
Yeah,
I thought they did a great job in the last episode of just making that dragon appear just so massive and intimidating compared to like some of the younger dragons. So I thought that was good. I mean, I thought overall the episode did what it wanted to do, or what it, I guess, was intended to do, which is it was everything leading up to the Dance of the Dragons, which is the big Targaryen battle for the throne. And so I think overall for this season, I would probably say it was good, enjoyable, but I wouldn't put it at like masterpiece or level. I think there was some like missteps in the writing that probably could have been overcame. The reason for Alicent wanting to take the Iron Throne, I thought was stupid. They should have just made it that she was ambitious and thought she deserved it. I thought like it being a misunderstanding was kind of a stupid plot point that happened earlier so there were little things like that where I just think the writing got a little too convenient, and it would have been more interesting if it was just the characters are ambitious and have motivations. Then, oh no, it was just a really bad game of telephone, or they just misunderstood.
Do we know, was that aspect, that plot point, was that from the book or no?
No.
Or was that something that they wrote in?
That's something they wrote in. So the book is interesting because the book is it was written like a history book, and so it's just like kind of broad details. It's not like, doesn't really color in the lines too much, but there was nothing in the book is one that suggested.
The book is one of the things that George R. Martin wrote himself, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As a way to stall actually finishing his series.
Yeah, it's one of the things where he was like, what is it, Winds of Winter?
It's 3/4 done.
Winds of Summer?
Winds of Winter.
Yeah. It's only been 11 years, so another 3 to go.
75% according to George R. Martin. I mean, I think he's managed to outlast anybody's like eagerness or anticipation for those books. So I think like I don't care about those books anymore.
What a legacy!
Would have been it,
but he's rich, so.
Yeah, I mean, he'll still have a legacy. There's still at least one other Game of Thrones show coming. Plus, House of the Dragon was successful, and
he hasn't said anything transphobic yet, so he's doing a little bit better than J.K. Rowling.
This is true.
Yeah, I don't really. J.K. Rowling's. I mean, what's her? She hasn't had anything, right, since Potter.
No, I think she writes like adult books under like a nom de plume.
That makes sense.
Interesting. Corey, what do you think?
I definitely I feel like I'm with you. Definitely missteps in the writing on certain points, but overall, I really enjoyed it, and I think the thing that really surprised me the most was that it was 10-hour-long episodes, and there really wasn't a weak episode throughout. There were episodes that I liked more than others, but from beginning to end, I thought that it really knew what the story that it wanted to tell this season and what it wanted to set up, and it did it really well and paced really well. Especially for a show that really didn't have a lot of action. Like this season, it was mostly like the political intrigue and like, the dialogue and King's Landing and like just things happening really there. It wasn't going all over Westeros, and it was focusing on a specific set of characters. And for them to pull that off, I thought was pretty fantastic. Like, writing flubs aside and plot, issues that might have come up, I thought that was something that they did really well. I think it comes down to the acting. Like, the actors that they got were pretty spot on.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I think all the acting is really great, except for I don't really like the foot guy.
Oh, Laris?
Laris, I think is his name.
He's weird, but
Quentin
he's
Tarantino,
right?
Yeah, he's just like a little too.
The foot fetish thing I thought was like a little weird. It seemed out of place.
Yeah, and that didn't even bother me so much as that just like he seems like a little too written to be a bad guy character.
Oh, okay.
Whereas I think all the other characters are like more gray and complex, and you've got this guy who's just like a douchebag.
Yeah, I could see that.
It's kind of just like Joffrey walking around.
He's like a very one-note plot device.
Yeah, I hope they do more with him, or that performance gets a little bit more nuanced, because he's the one that I'm the least excited about when I watch the show. But yeah, I think everybody else is really solid. I still stand by where I was after episode 8, where I think episode 8 is probably my favorite episode, and Paddy Considine is probably my favorite performance.
Yeah,
he crushed it in a show with a lot of great acting. I think he just stood out to me.
The one thing that I also noticed with there's a lot of it is between Emma Darcy, who plays Rhaenyra, and Alicent, not specifically together all the time, but just their performances, where there's a lot of moments of great acting without any dialogue, which I thought was really, really fantastic, because you can have great acting and great moments, but to do it without dialogue and to get the point across in the drama, I thought that was really well done. And the two of them, in the moments that they were together, they killed it. But then they also had moments, with other actors or by themselves that were also very strong. So, I'm really looking forward to another season. It sucks that it's, going to be 2 years away, I guess, year and a half. But
yeah, they said they're not going to start filming till
summertime,
2023, right?
Yeah, I think like summer next year.
Said it won't be out till 2024.
Yeah.
Stinks. Just the norm now.
Yeah, it's kind of getting annoying. Though.
Like you're still yeah.
How long do these shows get?
With HBO shows, it seemed like best case scenario, you're getting a year and a half later.
Yeah, I get it when there's a lot of CGI. Like I'm assuming there'll be a lot of the dragons take a long time and stuff like that, but I'm not sure I get it for some of these other shows where there isn't a lot of that CGI and stuff, other than I guess they're just having to deal with scheduling.
Yeah, because like contracts are so much different now than they were back in the day when people were doing TV shows and they were just committed to that TV show. Like
they locked them down.
Yeah, now you can find actors being on like 3 different TV shows at the same time. Like look at Giancarlo Esposito, like he'll be on Mandalorian, The Boys, Better Call Saul, and other shit as well. It's just completely different type of way of making television and signing deals.
Yeah, and it is crazy because I mean back in the day you'd get like 24 episode shows and they'd like pump them out every year.
Yeah, you do your 24 episodes, you'd have the summer to make a movie, and then you'd be right back to the next season. And that's why people would get like antsy and disgruntled and like want to get off a TV show. But now people have the flexibility, like they can be on a show for so long and do so much other work that they don't feel like the one job gets stale, which is a benefit.
Yeah, it's just not as. It's a little annoying to have to wait.
Stinks for the end user for sure.
Basically, if you're lucky, it's every other year you're watching a TV show.
Yeah.
I get it. It's longer.
Definitely, I get it.
Yeah, so it's kind of a bummer in that respect, but I guess the trade-off is you're getting probably better actors and things like that.
You're likely get it. Yeah, I imagine everything is ultimately better, except for the wait.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get Winds of Winter by the time the next season comes out.
Good joke. No fucking way.
They could restart.
I would say there's a 0% chance that would come out.
Not even 1%.
Not even 1%.
I think it's just one of those things where like
It's fair.
the expectation just got too high on him. And now, like, if he doesn't produce, like, a fucking masterpiece, people are just going to be like, what the fuck?
And this isn't even the final book.
No.
No, he's got, what, 2 more after that, right? Something like that?
One more after.
More?
But, like, let's be real. That shit's not happening.
Unless he started writing it already.
Well, I know I've seen charts where, like, how much longer it's taken him to write each book. Because, like, it didn't take him that long to write the second book after the first one. And I think he's just...
Not the 80s? When he wrote the second one?
The 90s.
90s? Okay.
They came out.
I think it's just... Yeah, the expectations have gotten too high. And he's getting paid a lot of money to... write other shit and like consult on on HBO TV shows and video games and all that. Like he doesn't need to finish the story.
Mm-hmm. That's what makes it remarkable that House of the Dragon season 1 was as good as it is. It's a very big surprise. People are back with the Game of Thrones bug.
We do have to worry that Miguel Sapochnik like pieced out.
I'm pretty sure he left because he's doing the Jon Snow project. I think he's still like involved in HBO. I think he's doing that other project. That's what I read. But
Jon Snow,
which is
wet rag of a character.
Yeah.
Why the fuck is he getting his own show?
I don't know.
Other than people wanting, I guess, liking Kit Harington.
I guess it's going to take place. I think it takes place after the show. I don't know.
Well, I don't even remember what happened to him after the show. Did he go back to the wall or?
He went he went over the wall. He was like living like beyond it.
Apparently, he tries to find Daenerys's body. Like I don't know, like wherever her dragon took her and all that jazz. I don't know, but apparently that's in the works because we want that.
But he's not going to be king because that's Bran.
Yeah, Brent.
The greatest.
Brent Flakes.
Yeah, the one who was
the greatest story that ever told or whatever.
Fucking the greatest story that I've ever told. They couldn't have me invested while watching this character on the show. And they're going to pretend that was the greatest story. What an offensive ending.
It was really offensive.
The more I think about it, yeah, it's so bad. Again, which is
the only
remarkable
thing about his story was Hodor.
Yeah, they somehow pulled people back in. Impressive.
It still kind of pisses me off when they try to like thread in the Game of Thrones story.
Yeah. It's like no one wants to hear any of that. Retcon it. Do it over. Get rid of it. The last like 3 seasons or 2 seasons, whatever.
Yeah, so it's like an ancient story, Murph, on this show that's been passed down from the Targaryens. That like the Song of Fire and Ice, and it like that the White Walkers will come, and there has to be a Targaryen on the throne to make sure that there's peace or whatever. Yeah. And they like say that they talk about it multiple times throughout the show, and it's just like no one cares. We don't care about that story.
Especially when you
already saw that story.
The White Walkers in like the most anticlimactic way.
Yeah, it didn't have to do with a Targaryen, really. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, it's interesting. I'm a little worried about Miguel being gone. I'm a little worried it was like creative differences and they were being nice about why he left, or I don't think they ever even gave a reason why he left.
That's what I read online, but again, rumors.
I saw
so that's never a good sign.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Maisie Williams basically said they shit the bed.
Yeah.
What did she say?
She basically said the show shit the bed. Like she rewatched the entire show, and he's like, "Yeah, it falls off." But she was ultimately proud of the work that that they did.
She wasn't proud?
No, was proud of like the overall work, which she should be. And
yeah,
the first couple of seasons are like some of the best television, and then it just slowly like gets worse and worse.
From like season 6 on, I guess season 5 or 6.
I think it's really only 7 and 8 that are like really like the noticeable ones.
Once Tyrion becomes like a dunce, I get like pretty pissed off on that show. Once Tyrion like makes all the stupidest decisions and he's supposed to be like the smartest guy in Westeros, that's when they lost me.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know when that happens, but I feel like it was before season 7.
But House of the Dragon, Murph, season 1. Add it to your list.
I got 2 years to catch up, so
yep.
We'll make sure to do that. Let's pivot to the new HBO water cooler show that is currently on, and that is the White Lotus, Sicily. So season 2 of what was originally just a miniseries is now an anthology series, but it might as well be a straight up season 2 since it has returning characters from the first season. Even though, as I said to Corey prior to us recording, you definitely can just go straight into season 2 and it like not be an issue. Like all you need to know about like Jennifer Coolidge's character, like you'll get from just like watching her. And same goes for, well, we know as much as you know about the relationship with the guy she's with, like how their relationship currently is. You're seeing just as much as we see. But Doug, what did you think about the pivot from Hawaii to Sicily, all the new characters that we got, the new storylines that are being told, how they are bookending the season with death again? We know at least a couple members of a couple guests at the hotel will be dead by the end of the season.
I'm liking it so far. So it's obviously a completely new location. We're in Sicily, Italy now instead of Hawaii, where the first one was based. So I think that kind of gives the show a little bit different of a feel. It looks like the coloring they used is even different.
The title music.
Music's different. It's the same but different. Like it's got like a little bit of, it's like a little reminiscent of the first one, but it's different at the same time. Hotel has a completely different look and feel.
Yeah.
Characters are now speaking Italian, so you can't like I went to go walk and grab something from the fridge, and I was like, oh shit, I can't do that. Characters are speaking Italian, and I can't hear what they're saying. So
you took Spanish back in high school, right?
Yeah, not Italian.
In college.
So that part was different. I thought though that the sense of humor, and like a lot of the, I would say mainly the sense of humor and the way the story is told is where it really did feel like a successor to White Lotus, where it really you could feel the through line between the two seasons, because it had that same dark, awkward sense of humor that kind of ran its way throughout. And so I found myself, this is probably like a sense of humor that I personally enjoy more than maybe like it's the stupid, what's the show that was really stupid for me this year? The Vampire, What We Do in the Shadows. Like went a little too far stupid. This was kind of a little bit more subtle and awkward and dark.
Yeah, this is more like cringe comedy and like dark humor versus like farce and pratfalls.
Yeah, so I find myself laughing more with this show than I did with like a show like What We Do in the Shadows. So I mean, so far it hit really strong for me. The hotel manager, whatever that role is, I thought that character seems like she's gonna be fun. I kind of like the little bit of dialogue they gave her. Not sure if she's gonna be as big of a part of the show as the hotel manager in the first White Lotus. I guess more to see on that, but
very different type of manager. Like she's like a no fucks given type of manager versus Armand, who was like the biggest like people pleaser.
Armand was a people pleaser, but like it was kind of fake.
Yeah, oh, incredibly like once the person leaves the room, like he'll be giving them a dressing down and quickly breaking down from the shit he has to go through.
Yeah, it was very fake. I like that you could see where they're laying like some breadcrumbs. Like there's some like Aubrey Plaza's character, who I thought Aubrey Plaza did a good job of like my wife was watching it, and I think I've only seen Aubrey Plaza like plays that awkward type of character. So it was nice to see her play like something different, where it was. And I've seen a couple of shows now where she's done that, so it's not to say that this is the first time she's done it, but I like when she shows some range, and I think she's been doing that at least in the first episode where she's playing this kind of stuck up attorney.
She's not
character.
She's not like the dry like comedian that you like are used to from like Parks and Rec and things like that.
Yeah, so I thought that was good. You can see where they're laying some breadcrumbs with her and the couple that they're friends with, and that things are gonna escalate. Like Sif started out relatively innocently, and you could kind of feel like, I don't know if it's because I've seen the first White Lotus or just because they did a good job of setting it up. You can definitely tell like that's gonna escalate.
Yeah.
Slowly, probably throughout the season. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. It just kind of, my only complaint would be that you get one episode, then you gotta wait a week.
Yeah, exactly. When it ended, I was like, God damn it! Like, I want to watch the next episode now, because that's how I watched the first season.
I was gonna say you binged it the first time.
I did it pretty quickly. I think it was in no more than 3 sittings that I watched all of season 1, and yeah, like the humor on it is like right up my alley as well. It is dark, and like it's like the type of humor that makes you like kind of want to look away, just because it's so awkward. But it is very funny stuff.
Yeah, and Coolidge, they've managed to make funny throughout. She's always got like some over the top thing going on.
Yeah, she's so ridiculous. Her and John Grease or John Grise, I'm not sure how you pronounce his name. They're just, I would love to see like everything that went on in their relationship in between seasons, because he seems so fucking miserable with her.
Yeah, whereas he was definitely not that way in the first season.
Yeah, no, in the first season, like you can tell he actually liked her. But she's a character. I could definitely see. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I could definitely see bad things happening to her assistant, to Haley Lou Richardson's character, being like the young assistant abroad, like who gets like caught up in like some bullshit and something bad happens to her. Especially with her being told to like stay in her room the entire time, which she's obviously not going to. So
yeah, I mean, who would?
Yeah,
a normal person would do that.
Yeah, exactly.
So that works for me, and they're obviously setting something up with her and that guy with his family.
Yeah, with F. Murray Abraham's grandson, Michael Imperiali's son.
Yeah. What do you think of F. Murray Abraham's character so far?
I'm enjoying him. Very funny. Just the constant flirting with very young women is funny to watch. And it's just funny seeing the differences between the 3 guys, like 3 generations, and they all have very different like ways of like treating women. Like you got F. Murray Abraham, who's just fucking horn dog, and flirting with everyone, but not in like a crazy disrespectful way or anything, but just always flirting. Like it's just part of his life. And you got Michael Imperioli, who's like, oh, come on, Dad. Like, but meanwhile, he's the one like paying for escorts and stuff like that, and cheating on his wife. But puts up like that, like I'm a good, like I'm like the better like version of you type of attitude to his dad. And then you've got the grandson who like clearly is like the most like innocent of the three, and like he's like very not hitting, like he could hit on the assistant a lot harder than he is, but he's just like generally like concerned about her and things like that, and it's an interesting dynamic. I'm excited to see how that plays out over the course of the season.
Yeah, and I saw it look like some outlets have gotten a review. I don't know if it's all the episodes or most of the episodes, but it seems like it's...
I think they got 6 of the 8 episodes, or 7, 9 episodes.
Okay. So it seems like, from what I've read just on the general review, it looked like it's positive. They were positive of whatever episodes they got, so...
Good.
I'm excited, hoping that it continues on. I forgot that the show was coming back, to be honest, so it was a good surprise, because I was like, kind of like, shit, I'm out of shows now.
Yeah, I was saying to Corey, it looks like with like HBO, you're gonna go from House of the Dragon to White Lotus to The Last of Us to Succession. Like that's gonna be like their big show each quarter or whatever.
Which
like
is
going into mid 2023. Yeah,
that's very strong. Yeah, HBO is doing well, and I mean the new administration can't like really take any credit for any of this. I mean, if they're smart, they just let HBO do what HBO's division's doing.
Yeah.
That's one of those Warner Brother pieces that I wouldn't mess with, other than the fact that like
so stable.
Yeah, the HBO Max stuff, like I think cutting that was probably a good idea, but like the rest of it, like HBO, I wouldn't touch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then you'll probably even get Euphoria sometime, like right after, like Succession season 4. So yeah, they'll likely continue that run throughout 2023.
Yeah, it's super impressive. Can't wait for Last of Us.
Yeah, no, we got a poster for that, so hopefully we get some more footage soon.
Yeah, it's got to be coming. It's got to be coming soon. If not this week, maybe over the next couple weeks.
Even though we've all played the game and know the story.
Yeah, exactly. But whatever, it'll be fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we can pivot from HBO and their unparalleled success to Disney Plus and the end of its 2022 run of Marvel shows of varying quality that just go back to back to back. So we had the season finale of She-Hulk. I'm assuming it's going to have a second season. But incredibly meta. Did not follow the standard Marvel template for how to end things. Although I did see some things that were like, no, this is how they do Marvel television shows. The Marvel movies end with big battles, but the Marvel TV shows end with like a big conversation with some sort of thing that you've never seen, higher being that you haven't seen prior. Was that the Honest trailer?
Yeah, Honest trailer pointed that out where they were like,
oh yeah, that was right. You had Jonathan Majors and Loki. You've had the Hippo thing in Moon Knight, and yeah, they've done it a bunch of times. So they're having their own standard ending on for their TV shows. But what'd you think of the whole super meta ending?
I thought it was well done. I mean, the show as a whole, and I've said this to you guys a couple times. I mean, the show is just so ridiculous, and it's not meant to be very serious. It's a comedy, and it's just silly. And I think they've taken that and took that type of slapstick humor and made something very intelligent in a lot of ways. It's written in that way, very intelligently. and the the meta nature of the show kind of comes to a head in the finale, in a pretty satisfying way. I mean, nothing really happened at the end of the day. It didn't really have this like penultimate ending, at least for me. But I thought it was satisfying and it was funny what they did and outside the box compared to what they've been doing on these MCU shows, you know, since they started. So that was something I really enjoyed. And Tatiana Maslany is amazing. Like, she's just so much fun to watch.
I kind of disagree on that being so. I thought it was fun, and I liked the whole like metaverse thing where they were like, you know, it felt very much like geared towards Marvel fans. Some of this stuff where it was like, oh, She-Hulk's like on the Disney Plus menu, and oh look, she's jumping to Assemble or whatever.
Yeah.
She like
Yeah.
jumped over to, and it's like, oh, she's in the Marvel Studios. She wants to meet with Kevin. It's gotta be Kevin Feige. So like that stuff was all like a lot of fun, and I thought funny, but it kind of felt. I felt like at the end of it, I didn't feel satisfied with that being the conclusion, because they built up this story, which I'll use the word "built" loosely, but they built like they had an overall narrative that they were like building up to, and then they were just like, forget about all those other episodes, like we're just gonna throw it all out the window, and then that's it. That's the end. Like we're gonna have dinner or lunch or whatever with Daredevil, and we're gonna laugh. And oh yeah, there's Hulk's son from the came up, and it was just kind of like
that was random.
What about like there was no conclusion to anything? It just like
I don't think the show has
out
one.
of it, but it just kind of felt lazy. It kind of felt like they didn't know what to do, and they were just like,
"It's fair.
We're hopping out now." And then, oh yeah, forget like this whole thing that we built up. There's not, even though we talked about how stupid this ending that we were gonna have, it was gonna be. They just like didn't have an ending.
No,
she hops out, and then they're just like, oh yeah, he's arrested now. The weird guy is arrested. Everything's resolved. Have a nice day. See you season 2. And so it just kind of like, I liked the jumping out, and I think they could have done it in a way like where the show built up to that in a more satisfying way, or like after she pops out and changes the things around, that we actually got to see like a conclusion to how things played out when she rewrote it. But the way they handled it, I don't know. I just don't think these writers are very good. But I did have a fun time and laughed when we jumped out and we went to Marvel Studios, and they made fun of the Marvel movies with Kevin being a robot.
Apparently they wanted Feige. They asked him, and he was just like, "No, I'm not doing it." Like they tried like really hard to get him in that role.
I mean, I was really like, when they were like, I need to go see Kevin, I was like, holy shit, are they really gonna have Kevin Feige in here?
Yeah, so did I.
But I thought it was fun to be like, we wouldn't do that. It's not gonna be Kevin Feige. We're just gonna
because
have
he
this robot.
said no. No, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I like how they took the piss out of the things that we regularly shit on when it comes to Marvel. Like they're clearly aware of everything. Obviously, these writers are, and clearly Kevin Feige's aware of it as well. Like it's no shocker. But then I also like how it had no qualms, shitting all over shitty comic book fans. Like the type of people who like review bomb or shit like that, who just like, oh well, it's a female lead, like I'm gonna fucking say horrible things and blah blah blah. So I enjoyed the fact that they sort of just didn't give a shit, and then we're like nobody was off limits. But yeah, I mean, breaking the fourth wall, demolishing the fourth wall the way they did was pretty surprising, and the fact that we didn't get that what would have been like one of the worst endings, with everyone breaking into Tim Roth's barn or whatever the fuck it was. Was what we got was way more satisfying. Was the story ultimately that cohesive and satisfying? No, but it really just came down to like enjoying Tatiana Maslany's performance and if getting some of the humor, and if you can get some laughs out of each episode, then it was worth watching.
Her and Charlie Cox were great together too. I hope that they have some more stuff.
Yeah,
maybe she comes back in Daredevil, because their chemistry was wonderful.
Yeah, I would like to see more of them together. Probably more on her show than on his show. Just because I would hope the tone of Born Again is a little more closer to Netflix than the tone of this one. But I definitely would like to see them. Yeah, probably won't. But I would like to see them interact more.
Yeah, I was trying to think about like what I would give this show like a rating. And I'm leaning towards C.
It felt like a TV show, at least. I'll give it that. It felt like the most like a TV show since WandaVision.
Did you enjoy it more than Moon Knight, Doug? That's the one I always keep going to, because like that one started so strong, and it was such a dud.
Moon Knight was pretty bad too. I don't. These shows have just been like, sure, it felt like a TV show, but it didn't feel like a good TV show to me.
Yeah, like there were episodes I didn't really like, but I still thought it was way more. Would never watch another episode of Moon Knight. And there are plenty of other. Like I thought it was better than Moon Knight and better than probably Captain America Falcon. Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Mm-hmm. That I did not like. That was a dud.
But it wasn't anywhere near as good as like a Ms. Marvel or a Loki or even Hawkeye or WandaVision.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd probably put it's in like the middle, but like low, but towards the bottom.
Marvel needs to get somebody that works for HBO to show them how to make TV shows. I think that would be awesome if they could get like somebody that's like higher up but not too high up, that like understands.
They're full steam ahead on shows, so they should get on that quickly. What they got?
Because these shows are just like, they're not doing it, and I feel like for me it just feels like every show that they put out that just isn't like a hit, it just diminishes the brand.
It does.
Like I don't really think I came out thinking the world of Marvel TV shows before they like had put any out, and even like WandaVision I enjoyed a good amount, but like it's just gone so far downhill like on how I feel about Marvel TV.
They're doing too much.
Was not good for them.
Too much.
What did we get? Like 2 new shows announced just in the past week. Vision Quest, another Vision show. Because
they went with Vision Quest, like the name of that wrestling movie.
Wrestling movie?
Wrestling movie?
Yeah, there was a wrestling movie called Vision Quest.
There is?
I guess they don't have to worry about confusion.
I know The Quest with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
No, Vision Quest came out in 1985.
Yeah, I don't think they're worried about that one.
All right, just me, I guess. Madonna is in it.
As of now, that's what the show is called. And then Wonder Man got a show also.
Oh yeah, I saw that with Yaya, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Yaya.
Which,
I mean, that's good casting at least. Just if you can get Yaya, you're in pretty good shape.
I thought that was surprising, because a couple months ago he really shit on working on superhero movies. I forgot what he said, but he was like, it's like mindless work.
Ethan Hawke said the same thing, and then he gets fucking put in Moon Knight.
Paycheck, I guess.
I mean,
none of these, like, so many of these people don't want to do these. They're like, well, I get to work with some talented people, and I get to make money. Like, I guess I'll do it.
Yeah, begrudgingly.
But
it's not a huge commitment.
No, it's not a huge commitment, and depending on what type of role you take.
True.
Like Jonathan. Yeah, they're not locking up Yaya probably for anything more than the TV show, unless I would be surprised if he's not going to be like Steve Rogers.
God, all I know is that dude went from fucking Watchmen to whatever what's going to probably end up being mediocre.
I don't even know what Wonder Man is.
Great to this, so that kind of sucks.
I mean, he was also Mantis, though. That wasn't.
Oh yeah, he's been in varying degrees of quality.
Yeah.
He's in the sequel too, right?
Yeah.
Or is he? He is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Movie. I keep forgetting that movie exists.
Yeah, I keep forgetting too.
Yeah. Well,
I also keep forgetting that Disney movie is coming out in a couple of weeks.
Strange
World.
Like,
Disney's like, you're trying to bury it. It feels like
Strange World.
Strange World.
Yeah.
It does seem that way.
All right, let's get into box office.
All right, She-Hulk. We're done.
Talk the pool. Now that you're insulting my Strange World pick, where do you get the cojones to say this? What are you talking about? Why are they?
Yeah, after my success of Lyle Crocodile, I feel like I'm an authority on children's movies.
Doug has he's got a hold on the pulse.
You did it. You got that 34 mil from Lyle Crocodile, which I really wanted. That would have been a nice 68 mil for me.
It's surprising that I have seen no marketing for Strange New World.
I saw one trailer.
That's not even what the movie's called.
Whatever it's called.
Well, it doesn't come out till Thanksgiving, and they're busy promoting
Black Panther
right now, and they're just now getting into the Avatar promotion as well. But it's happening. Strange World's happening. It's Thanksgiving.
I'm waiting for them to be like, you know what? We're just gonna put it out on Disney Plus.
That might happen. No, I might get like that Christmas
day and date or something
announcement. Yeah, probably it probably won't do that well. Their male targeting animated movies don't tend to do very well in comparison to the female ones.
But it doesn't seem like they're trying that hard for it to do well.
What do you mean? Why are you saying that?
I just like Disney animation, like Moana and like all that. Like I just remember like a lot of advertising leading up to that movie, like commercials and marketing materials, and it's like this movie is just kind of like.
How many commercials are you watching in 2022 in comparison to 2016? You still watching like commercials?
Well, you have whenever you're watching football, there's commercials.
Okay, not exactly the target audience for this movie, but
sure. But whenever you're watching football, YouTube has commercials. When I'm watching
Hulu,
the Rick and Morty, I've got commercials. That I go out in the world. I mean, I have seen nothing that's like, hey, remember that movie that you don't know the name of? Like that's coming out soon.
That's fair. I
wonder if they're marketing it at Disney World.
I'm sure they are. If you're watching the right programs, you're probably getting inundated with Strange World commercials. It'd be weird for fucking Rick and Morty to be showing the trailer to Strange World. But I get what you're seeing. You're not seeing a lot of ads for it. I guess I didn't see a lot of ads for Encanto either last year, now that I think about it.
Yeah, but it It had the musical genius behind
Lin-Manuel
it.
Miranda. Yeah.
That movie seemed like word of mouth is what kind of drove it.
Fucking your word of mouth. You love that fucking movie.
I thought it was overrated. I
It
didn't
was
think
like
it was as great as everyone said it
I think
was.
didn't you put it as your number one movie of the year?
I might have. It belonged there. The soundtrack is so good to Encanto.
Is it?
Good question, Corey. I will follow up.
Have you guys only watched it the first time, or did you guys watch it an additional time? Once you knew all the songs.
I've seen it once.
It
was enjoyable.
I don't need to talk about Bruno ever again.
That was it.
Part of it too, I think, is you guys might have came in too late to the Encanto fad.
It's possible.
Totally, it's probably what happened.
It's a good movie though.
But yeah, I need Strange World.
My number one.
I need Strange World to do well. I need Puss in Boots to do well. I've lost the movie.
I forgot you had Puss in Boots.
I laugh at Puss in Boots.
I mean, that's gonna be probably your biggest movie.
I think Puss in Boots is gonna probably do really well.
Well, it better be, because Black Adam is like mediocre as fuck.
How did we let you get Puss in Boots?
How'd you let me get it?
Yeah, that seems like kind of a high.
I had back-to-back picks.
Oh, that's why.
And I was pretty against the animated films this go round.
Yeah, which made sense after the summer.
Yeah.
So that was the third pick. You did Black Adam and Puss in Boots.
Yes, and then I got Strange World.
So we didn't have a shot to get it then. That's why.
Somehow Strange World. Well, I mean, never mind. You guys think it's this little movie that can't. That's how I got it on my next pick.
I just don't see it. I don't see it making. I see.
What did I pick? Amsterdam or some stupid?
Yes, you pick
Amsterdam and the Fablemans, I think. It's like, all right, well, he's going prestige picks at this point.
Puss in Boots, I see making money. Strange World, I don't know. I don't see it.
Doug was going for the Oscar draft, not the. Actually, Amsterdam ain't winning any Oscars. So.
Yeah, the movie's not winning Oscars either.
But
I was surprised at how poorly Amsterdam performed.
Yeah, it was really good.
Fablemans, I'm a little worried about. I'm hoping like people are just like getting that Oscar buzz a little early. Since people are saying it's.
Let's talk about where we're at right now, and we'll analyze, we'll talk, we'll discuss. Doug, let's start with you. As you are in last place, it makes sense to start with you. $51 million. Not a great start. So you've had Amsterdam, Lyle Lyle Crocodile, or the massive success, Lyle Lyle Crocodile, Till, and Armageddon Time. Armageddon Time's been in like 5 theaters, so it still has a chance to expand, but right now I think it's at like 400,000. Till expanded this weekend. It's like 4 million total. So unless it gets some like, I don't even think Oscar buzz will help it, because it's only October, or it's only the beginning of November now, and Oscars are a ways away. So you're not having the best of starts. You got the Fablemans. I think that can make some money because the Spielberg name. I think it's probably capped at. What do you think? 60 mil? 70 mil?
I thought you were going to say 100 mil.
No.
I don't see that movie making 100 mil.
Spielberg dramas don't make that much money.
I thought 75.
Outside of Lincoln, which was a decade ago.
I mean, it's got. I don't know. I thought Amsterdam was going to make 100 million. So. I don't know where these older Top Gun moviegoers are, but they're not going to see Amsterdam or Fableman.
They went and saw Smile because they saw the trailer to Smile when they saw Top Gun. Just like they went and saw Elvis because they saw the trailer to it. But yeah, you got Empire of Light. I don't think that's going to make.
I don't even know what that movie is.
Sam Mendes movie. I think that's all we've decided that we knew. You got I Want to Dance with Somebody, which could be a sleeper hit around the holidays.
Yeah, I feel good about that one.
Biopic boost. And then you've got the big gun. You've got Avatar: The Way of Water. Trailer just dropped. You wanted to talk about the trailer. You had thoughts. Let's hear
them. I'm starting to ring the I'm worried alarm bell a little bit after that trailer. It looked really pretty. So let's say that.
Beautiful, yeah.
Yeah. So like visually, it looks fantastic. Not much else in that trailer to be excited about.
And that's a final trailer, right?
Bro, that movie just
looked not.
That movie just looked like a cartoon. They didn't even like have any like humans to make it look like it was an actual movie.
That was a final trailer. It could have been
the fucking Lion King remake.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the final trailer.
What is
maybe we'll get like a video game launch trailer. Like,
what is the story? Like there was no. It was pretty as hell, but I was expecting to get some type of plot.
We got no plot, just like we got no plot in the Wakanda Forever trailer. I showed the Wakanda Forever trailer to my family. They're like, "What the hell is this movie about?" And like, it's probably not the best thing in the world when these final trailers, don't like really dig into plot at all.
But Wakanda Forever, I was like, it still got me excited. Like I'm still like, all right,
yeah.
Like I want to see like it looks like there's these cool action set pieces. I want to see like where they're going with this story, even though they didn't give me a ton of plot. Avatar just like had none of that. It was just like pretty shot. It was just like pretty shots throughout. And then it was like, Avatar, come see us in theaters. And like, who's that gonna get to be like, I need to go to the theater? Like,
Return to Pandora. Wasn't that just your ad campaign for the fucking re-release?
Yeah,
you just recycled it.
Yep.
I got less excited about the movie by watching the trailer.
We didn't even get a villain. Like no shot of a villain.
Well, we did get the shot of the villain.
Yeah, you did. You got the shot. It's
how? With what?
It's
do you want it to be spoiled?
I watched the trailer. I didn't see a villain.
It's because you're not. Yeah, you don't know what you were looking for.
Yeah. I saw like a barge, a flying like barge with robots and stuff.
No,
tell him, Doug. Break it down for him. It's not a spoiler because it's been discussed in the press.
Isn't Stephen Lang supposed to be in it again?
And he was in the trailer.
Stephen Lang was in the trailer.
Yeah. Okay.
Just like Sigourney Weaver was in the trailer.
He's a Navi.
So there's a God.
Everyone's Navi.
Are you serious?
Now.
So the villain
Navi. You get it.
So he's not reprising his role as his dead character.
He is.
He is.
Of course.
He became a Navi. What the hell?
They can. So he died, but they can bring back people that died as like a Navi now.
Why? Why would they make that decision? He was a fucking evil man. Why would you want to put that?
I don't
he's still
think
evil.
He made that decision lately. I'm sure a bad.
I don't know if you got to rewatch the trailer.
He made that decision after he died. He was like, "Oh, I want to just."
Probably, I don't know. Ask James Cameron.
If you watch the trailer, the Navi, there's a Navi walking around with like a machine gun. He's got like army fatigues on and like a crew cut.
Does he have like that? I was watching it while I was at work, so I guess I missed a couple beats. I'm gonna have to check it out again.
They don't make it like they don't try to be like, guess what? He's back. They're just like, oh, here's this Navi character.
No.
Like
clearly, it went over my head.
Hope you paid enough attention to know like this is the bad guy. Otherwise, like he just blends in with every other blue character.
Why didn't they bring the guy from Dodgeball back? Why didn't they show him? They got to show some of the returning human characters, so it actually like looks like a live action film.
I think that's the goal. They don't want it to look. Cameron's like
Stupid.
no
It's
human
cutting
power.
out. Like I don't think there is any live action. Anything.
No, there were humans in the teaser.
Oh, they have that one character that is like adopted or whatever. That's a human.
Yeah.
The kid?
Oh yeah.
They've got like they had some like guy carrying like some things in the trailer for the first trailer. But that's about it. Damn, hype has gone down.
Yeah, I'm worried.
Who are the
I'm
new
worried
actors
that,
for this one?
Jermaine Clement.
Jermaine Clement's in this? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know he was in this either.
No,
Kate Winslet.
Kate Winslet. Yeah, Kate Winslet. Okay.
It's tough because maybe they're. I don't even know if they're in this one or the third or the fourth.
That's true.
I just know they were like asked to be in Avatar movies.
It feels like I'm gonna be watching like a 3-hour and 10-minute Avatar nature documentary. That's what I'm worried about.
You are going to watch a 3-hour and 10-minute Pandora documentary.
It just seems more of the same.
Happening.
It's prettier.
But there's so much water in this one. It's completely different.
But it seems. Can you imagine? Okay, it's literally the same exact film, like beat for beat, just in water instead of in a forest. That's what I'm worried about.
James Cameron's fucking getting hard from this conversation right now because he sees how we are denying the fact that he can make a successful movie, and it's going to make so much goddamn money.
No, this is exactly.
He's the underdog. He's the underdog again. It's fucking huge, Doug. You got the biggest movie of the winter.
He sold his soul to the devil.
He likes being pushed in that corner. He's going to make fun of.
He put out a trailer to push himself in that corner because that trailer it's not good. It's not a trailer that's going to get anyone excited about Pandora and going to watch Avatar.
I mean,
people want to return, Doug.
Weren't that good either. I remember when I saw the teaser to Avatar in the summer of 2009, and being like, "Well, this fucking looks disappointing." And I ended up feeling that same way in December of 2009, but I warmed up to it this year. So
it only took
13 years.
13 years.
But I was wrong. I doubted James, and it made money.
I don't know. I was trying to check out the views on YouTube to just see how many people had watched it so far to try to gauge excitement. It was at 10 million, which didn't feel like a lot for coming off of such a big first movie.
I think the first trailer had a pretty massive number of views.
I don't know.
It'll build the buzz. It'll build the buzz. So what are you thinking now? 500 million?
I don't know. I'm worried that people don't come back out to see this movie like they did in 2009 because they haven't given anybody a reason to go back and see this world and see this movie.
What do you mean? There's water in this one. Wasn't water in the last one. Is that not reason enough? What more do you want?
I don't know. I'm worried about
Their family's a fortress.
Yeah.
I'm worried about
it's all about family.
You're all about what?
I'm worried about sub 400.
No way in hell. At minimum, it makes $500 million.
I'm a little worried about this movie.
It probably makes fucking $600 million at least. It just has such a good release date. It's almost impossible not to make money if you put out a movie the week prior to Christmas.
Everyone's going to be skipping that to go see Corey's Christmas movie.
Violent Night, baby.
Well, Violent Night will have been out for a couple weeks already.
Yeah, it comes out at the beginning of December, I think.
But it's a movie that you'd want to see on Christmas, Christmas
right.
Day.
I'm going to see that movie now. I didn't think I was going to see it when Corey drafted it. But
I didn't think I was going to see it either. But
no, Avatar is going to do just fine.
We'll see. We all agreed it was a lousy trailer, though, right?
Yeah, it didn't get me hyped. But I don't need an Avatar trailer to get me hyped. It's just it's the James Cameron mystique. That gets me hyped.
I could have used like a little bit more hype just to like.
Yeah. I mean, it could have been better. It could have been better.
It was not a strong.
Really
trailer.
understand what was going on.
Who cuts the trailer? Is James Cameron the one cutting these stupid trailers?
I doubt
Probably. They should have.
It doesn't feel like this was a professional job that like put that trailer together.
They usually have they farm these things out.
Did Zoe Saldana have any lines in the trailer?
Yeah, she said something like when she was screaming about like my home. She was like, "My home, it's destroyed," or something like that.
Should probably give more dialogue to her because she's like the most popular character, I guess. Is there a most popular character in Avatar? That's actually a good question.
I don't think there is. I know Jake says a couple lines.
Yeah,
good old Jake.
Jake's got his Na'vi accent now.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
He has a Na'vi accent?
A little bit.
Yeah.
He's part of the culture.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been 13 years. If you were living, Doug's been living in Florida for 13 years. He somewhat has an accent.
Kind of. Sigourney Weaver is very distracting, I'm gonna say.
Yeah, it's weird that her voice is coming out of a child.
Yeah, they didn't even try to mask it. It just sounds like her, and it's like, what is happening?
Must have been really weird filming that movie.
I'm sure.
Not only is she an adult human, but she's also like a really tall one, and you decided to turn her into the baby or the child character. Interesting choice.
I wonder if it was like a stillbirth, and then they hooked her up to the stillbirth to the tree, and like, how are they explaining the fact that like Sigourney Weaver has now possessed this child?
They're not. She's just a new character that is voiced and
basically
by
anyone who dies on Pandora can come back to life as a new character. That's the precedent that's been set. It's just as insignificant as.
But they uploaded her to the tree, so I feel like they had to have downloaded her into this child.
Maybe they'll have a flashback and we'll see what happens in the second one.
Just mark my words, she got the child died somehow, and they downloaded Sigourney Weaver.
That's really fucking dark, Doug.
That is really fucking dark. I don't think that this movie's gonna go in that direction.
I hope it does not.
I do not think so.
I mean, everything fucks each other in Pandora, so I don't know. They probably fucked a tree, and then out of the grass comes Sigourney
Weaver.
It's a very horny planet.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what those water people are like.
Rewatching that movie, it is very strange how that movie made that much money. It's It's a very weird movie.
It is. Like why that movie hit so hard like it did is still strange to me.
Why anyone would want to live in Pandora? Why would you want to live there?
It was just like it's a colorful place versus like a lot of people live in like New Jersey or like the Northeast, and it's December, and they're just like, this place is dreary. I want to go to that.
I remember when that movie came out, and like there were people like that were so obsessed with Pandora that they like
they got depressions and shit.
Yeah.
I guess after the movie left theaters.
Yeah. Strange stuff.
All right, well, Doug, if it is a sub 400 movie, then you are likely getting last place. Unless the Fabelmans and I Want to Dance with Somebody kill it.
I mean, Fabelmans is going to be above 500.
Yes, Fabelmans will be. It's going to be Steven Spielberg's biggest movie ever. Fucking E.T., you're done. It's Fabelmans time to shine.
Like, forget about Jurassic Park. Like,
I'd be happy as fuck if you won with Fabelmans making $500 million. I'd be genuinely happy.
I would be happy
going to see a real movie for adults.
Yeah,
I would be delighted.
I would have no problems with that.
But I'd be a little concerned that we like the world's ending or something.
True.
Weird things have happened this year, and especially in terms of film.
Yeah, but Top Gun makes way more sense than Fablemans.
This is true.
Yeah. All right, Corey, let's analyze your standings. So you're at 160 million. So 110 million above Doug. You've had the same amount of movies, 4 so far. But one of Doug's hasn't gone wide yet. But don't worry, once it goes wide, it will make about $5 million more than. And I'm going to see 2 of the movies that on your very small box office so far.
I want to see Armageddon Time.
I'm going to see Armageddon Time, and I'm going to see Till.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I want to see that too.
But they are not movies that make money in 2022. Still, I respect your bold picks, Doug. Corey, 160 million. Woman King, Pearl, Avatar, and Halloween Ends. So Halloween Ends shit the bed after opening weekend. Kind of shit the bed by the end of its opening weekend.
Yeah, it didn't even get through the whole weekend.
How divisive it was being on Peacock. So it dropped. What it dropped 80%. Yeah, 80% in weekend 2, 50-something% weekend 3. So its box office is essentially over at this point. So you got 60-something million. Shockingly enough, Woman King and Halloween Ends ended up with basically the same box office for you.
Yeah,
didn't see that coming on both. I thought Woman King was going to make less and Halloween Ends was going to make more. Mm-hmm. So the fact that they made similar is pretty crazy. You got the big gun coming out next week. It's going to change the game. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. What do we think at this point in time, 1 week from release?
Opening weekend or total box office?
So, both.
$200.
I was going to say 180.
All right.
Yeah. Maybe 200.
I'll be Debbie Downer and I'll go 175.
Yeah, what did Debbie Downer? You went 5 million below 180.
Fuck you. I'll do 10 million below 170. No, I think that was just the tracking that I just said.
I could see this blowing up opening weekend. Like that's kind of my feeling. So 200, I think is a good estimate. I feel like it could do more.
I'm going to go 150 million. Bold prediction. I think people aren't going to show up the way they did for the first one for very lame reasons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think that there's definitely what's working against it is the lack of Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And of his Black Panther. I think if he was back in a movie, it would be a lot bigger than what we're gonna get.
It would be huge.
I would be predicting 250 million.
Yeah. It's it's just his absence, I think, is gonna probably drive less people out. I mean, some people are I'm interested to see what it's gonna be like without him and what they have up their sleeve is to. I mean, it sounds like from what I was reading, it's I think there's no surprise that they're gonna deal with the fact that he died. So it'll just be interesting to see how they do that because the character didn't appear to have died at anything we've seen in Marvel so far. So I don't know how they deal with that. It's kind of an interesting problem that not a lot of movies have had to deal with, is that their leading character is passed away.
Yeah, I mean, you had Fast and Furious, like Furious 7, but the actor filmed the majority of it. Then you had Dark Knight, where essentially the biggest character in the movie died prior, but he filmed the entire thing. You're right. There are not too many examples of this where they're essentially giving a tribute to an actor who didn't get to film anything for the sequel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are people going to want to see this multiple times because it's clearly going to be a sad movie, versus the first one, which is a very positive one overall. I don't know. Are people going to embrace whoever becomes the new Black Panther? Probably not. I think it's gonna make a good amount of money. Like overall, it should probably make 500 million. I think that's probably the ceiling for this one. Is 500 million.
Yeah.
Versus Avatar, where I think that's the lowest, or the floor. But I would love to be wrong, and it does very well.
All right, so we got 150 for Murph, 170 Doug, 200 Corey.
Yeah,
I'm still leaning towards Avatar. Avatar being somewhat of a disappointment. Not a disappointment, but like a disappointment in terms of the first one, box office wise.
Troubles me that our like friend group doesn't want to had no interest in rushing out to see this one. That I think
Black Panther.
It speaks volumes in how this is going to perform.
It's a good point.
Black Panther?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like we got our tickets, but it took weeks of prodding to like figure out a time. And like when I kept looking at seats, like there were plenty available like for all the showings.
I haven't even looked at seats since I booked it when the tickets went on sale. It'd be funny. Not funny, haha, but it'd be interesting if like there were still a bunch of seats open.
Yeah. I don't know. I heard there's no post credits.
Not even one
for the post credits.
There's a mid credit, but no post credits.
Oh, mid credit, yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
I mean, you're gonna make a lot of money, Corey. I mean, you got 160 million so far. Let's say at minimum you get 500 from Black Panther. The Menu, Violent Night, The Whale. Yeah, I guess doubling up may make we win. Doug. Just because, but then again, you said Strange World's gonna bomb, so like I have 590 million right now based on it. Did I do the math correct? 295. Yeah, I did. I have 295 million in actual dollars from my 5 movies so far, and it comes out to 590 when doubling it. Still got 2 movies to go. I don't know. Assuming they both
it's gonna be close.
If they both make $100 million, that's
400 million.
$400 million. That gives me $1 billion without Black Adam and Ticket to Paradise making more money. So I don't know. You guys need your 2 movies to be massive hits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Violent Night. It's hard to be $1 billion movie.
Yeah, or I want to dance with somebody to like make like 150 and Fablemans to make 100.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be tough with the doubling up and the movies that you were able to get a hold of.
But I did lose one. I lost White Bird, A Wonder Story. So I'm in the. I have.
That was your ace in the hole.
Yeah, I think it was my last pick. I was going to take She Said. I should have taken that. I think that movie's got decent buzz. Although it's an adult movie, so it's probably going to make no money. Yeah, I don't know. I got another week for Black Adam to make money. Black Adam ultimately kind of disappointed. The Rock.
Yeah, I could not believe that.
The Rock and DC didn't bring the goods. People didn't really seem to give a shit.
But the fans liked it too. Every person that I've talked to who saw it really spoke very positively about it. So that was it was pretty
I didn't
shocking
speak positively about it.
I didn't.
Dwayne's all about the fans.
I didn't actually even know you saw it, in all honesty.
Yeah, I texted you guys. I saw it opening weekend.
Oh.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts?
I don't know why you fucking saw that movie opening weekend.
because Julia wanted to see it.
I do remember that.
I did know why. Why did she want to see Black Adam?
She's a rock fan, I guess. It's not a good movie. There's nothing like it feels very much like someone made a superhero movie in like the 90s called
Generic
Black Adam.
Got it.
There's even like a fucking kid that like skateboards and
The Rock works with generic directors, so that's no fucking surprise that it made a generic superhero movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's what makes Batista and Cena so much more interesting than him is they actually work with like talented people. No offense, director Black Adam.
Why is that he works with generic directors?
Because he can be the boss.
Yeah.
He makes the
creative decisions.
He needs to manage his fucking brand that he cares so much about, so he can become a politician someday. And we can point back and be like, "Well, there's this fucking mediocre career." Like the only good. I'm getting a little heated. I'm being a little mean to The Rock. But I mean, other than Jumanji, he has not had a hit outside, like a big hit outside of the Fast and Furious franchise. And that's Vin Diesel's franchise. Jumanji is also an ensemble. The Rock, he's the biggest star in the world, but he makes mediocre movies and works with mediocre talent. So he's never going to be like fucking great actor for that reason. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, I agree. Unless he starts, working with,
why the fuck
better directors.
The directors he works with, like you look at their filmography and you're like, why is he working with the director of Dodgeball, a true underdog story? And like where that's their best movie. Or like, oh, he's working with the guy who made the House of Wax remake. And like 10 shitty movies after that. I just don't get it. Like,
well, I think you're right because creative control. Like he could do what he wants.
Yeah, like just look at all the directors he's worked with. His most like creative type of movie was a Michael Bay movie, like over the past like decade, like where he actually like had to stretch his legs. Irony, because he always fucking does leg day, but
Black Adam has been talking about for fucking forever.
He's been talking about it for like
10 years,
right? Over. Like,
really? More than that?
The 2000s. Like, it's crazy. I don't know. He needs to work with better people. And stop, like, you're going to sell your fucking products no matter what. Like, but you might as well make better movies at the same time.
Yeah. It's interesting. Box office wise, it doesn't seem like they're recouping the investment.
It's not going to be I think it's going to make like 400 total, like worldwide. That's like a superhero movie 10 plus years ago.
Which aligns perfectly with what the movie feels like.
Yeah. It's MCU phase 1 box office. Low MCU phase 1 box office. Or 2000s, basically anything other than Spider-Man and Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, I mean,
the hierarchy of power in the DC universe most definitely has not shifted or changed or whatever that line that he kept saying is. The hierarchy is fucking Batman and actually, I mean Aquaman's technically.
Speaking of hierarchy,
yeah,
we've got a new power shift if we're done with box office.
We're going on our DC rant now, so
yeah, might as well. Good segue, Doug.
Mr. Gunn has taken control of power in the DC universe, or I guess DC Studios. Is that what they're calling it now?
DC Studios, yep.
No more DC.
My guess is the DC Cinematic Universe is going to be getting a new name.
Yeah, it seems like a DCU has kind of gonna die, and
as it should,
like a phoenix.
Dumb name to begin with.
This new James Gunn, DC.
The DC. What I don't even know what they call it. The DCEU right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was stupid.
DC Extended Universe.
Doesn't even make sense.
So yeah, I mean that it's pretty crazy. So it's James Gunn and who's the other guy?
Peter Safran.
Peter Safran.
He's a producer of Aquaman, Suicide Squad. He actually, I think he was James Gunn's agent back in the day.
Oh wow, that's kind of funny.
Or something like that, or manager, one of the two.
Interesting.
But you've got those two who have been named basically. I mean,
Co-Chairman and Chief
we're saying
Executive
it.
Officer.
The Kevin Feige of the DC studios. DC,
Yes,
DC
that is
universe.
that's what James Gunn will be. Like,
What's his official title? James Gunn?
Both their titles are Co-Chairman and Chief Executive Officers.
Oh, okay. Got it.
But as far as delineation of like duties, James Gunn is the creative side, and Peter Safran is like the management side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes that makes like logical sense for it to be split up that way, because I don't think James Gunn could do the management stuff. Like that's kind of out of his wheelhouse, but he's certainly a creative.
Yeah, you can nurture talent. Fucking talent loves him. He knows the source material like the back of his hand, cares about it, so he will be able to do a lot of good on that front.
The question I have, or one of the concerns I have with James Gunn is he's got a very unique style, and so I guess the question is how much of that is going to transfer over to the DC universe. Like, are we going to get like a goofier? I don't think so. I mean, I would assume that he can keep his movies the way his movies are, but I guess that's a concern I have, is how much is the James Gunn stamp going to be over the DC universe? Kind of like how, I mean, Snyder was a little different because it gave Snyder control over the movies a little bit more. Like he kind of controlled that universe that they played in. But like, as a result, everything kind of felt like Zack Snyder-y. Do we run that risk with James Gunn?
I think there's a risk, but I don't really think that it's going to happen. I think where we're going to see like his stamp is with the cohesiveness of the universe and the characters. I think that's where we're going to see it. Good or bad, I think that's we're going to see, like, you know, this. He's so good with ensemble characters, you know, teams, and, you know, putting characters together that in ways that make sense in a story. And I think that that's where we're going to see it across like the films, like the cohesiveness across the films. But I don't know if his
I don't think he's gonna have like
humor.
Like it's gonna have like a James Gunn like house flavor to all the movies or anything like that. Like it might have. I mean, maybe it will. I mean, and if they did, it's no different than every Marvel movie having a similar tone for the most part. But no, I think he'll let the people that he's working with like make the movie that they're looking to make. But yeah, I think it's going to come down to things are going to feel more part of the same universe versus what has been so far, where basically after Dawn of Justice, things basically went their own way, with the exception of Justice League.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I selfishly hope he still has time to write Peacemaker season 2. I'm a little worried
That's a
about
good
that because I don't know where he's gonna have the time to work on stuff like that. It seems like he's gonna be pretty busy.
Yeah, I mean he's still busy with his Marvel stuff until May. Has Kevin Feige made sure to say he's got to
That's
finish
such a
out
weird
the holiday special
dynamic.
Volume 3.
He's gonna be promoting Guardians Volume 3 and the holiday special, and he's now like
The head of
CEO of DC.
Yeah, what a shit on
crazy.
Disney.
It's kind of like I was thinking about it the other day. Like, there's like another universe where like Marvel doesn't get rid of James Gunn, and so like he never goes down this road to basically be heading up DC, and it's kind of crazy that those series of events where they let him go and he started working with DC has now led to a point where he's running DC at this point.
Yeah, no, they're
Co-running.
Reactionary move and firing him is 100% responsible for this happening. Do I think they ultimately care? Probably not. I mean, it wasn't like James Gunn was going to take Kevin Feige's job over. And DC doesn't have a shot in hell at ever equaling what Marvel has done simply because they've had the run going for as long as they have.
Yeah.
But hopefully they put out better product and makes competition more interesting.
Yeah, I hope so.
What I'm most interested about is what happens with these projects that they're not overseeing, like the Joker sequel and the Batman sequel and everything going on with the spin-offs on HBO Max. Because from what I understand, James Gunn and Peter Safran aren't overseeing these projects. But what does that mean in the long run for Batman?
I don't know. It's a good question because I mean, you a lot of that stuff. I would imagine that they're probably going to cut loose, but I think Batman was a success and they probably believe in it. So I wouldn't be surprised if they kept that around in some of those shows that are related to Batman. But it kind of feels like the other DCEU stuff or DC adjacent, they're probably going to cut loose unless it was like a massive success. I don't even know what Joker 2 if like. I'd be surprised if they had a third one up their sleeve. 2 seems like so.
Yeah.
Field.
Yeah, I mean the fact that there is a second one is surprising enough. So, like, yeah, it might just be a one-off sequel, and that's that. Nothing to worry about there. But it's very strange that your flagship character. I mean, you can pretend Superman is your flagship character, but it's not. It's Batman. That it's off on its own, while everything else is being spearheaded by these two.
Yeah, and Matt Reeves wants to do like kind of his own universe type of thing. Like he's going to build off of that with the Penguin show or GCPD, whatever it is. I wonder how this is going to affect that now. Like
they really put themselves in a Chris Nolan situation all over again.
Yep, they did.
Where like they wanted to start Justice League and do all these projects during the time of Dark Knight trilogy, and Nolan was just like, no, like we do my thing. I mean, at least they're doing their thing now, but they're not able to play in the same sandbox.
Yeah, but how can they use Batman now? Like, I guess they still can, but if with Matt Reeves stuff going on, it's going to be confusing, and that's the last thing they need.
So you don't think that they could get Pattinson to be part of the overall universe that they create?
I mean, I guess they can, but then what the fuck's going on with Affleck and Keaton? And...
Yeah. Are they just out? I mean, what?
They just brought
Henry
back
Cavill. No, Cavill is back.
Flashpoint is a reset storyline.
No, I know.
So they could just be like, those characters don't exist anymore.
Yeah, but it seems like they're going all in. I mean, now it makes sense because wasn't he like he was on like one of the one of the sets recently for one of those movies or something like that. But then Ben Affleck is going to be in Flash. Like, I feel like they're bringing both of those actors back. Who the hell knows? Maybe Jason Momoa is also going to return as Aquaman. So
they're
they're like,
they're not getting rid of Jason Momoa because it's the producer of Aquaman that is one of the heads, and it's their biggest movie. So Jason Momoa is not going anywhere.
So he's staying. So the question is Ben Affleck and Gal Gadot.
I don't think you get rid of Gal Gadot either, based on the success of Wonder Woman.
So I guess they're all. I
don't think any. I don't think any of them leave.
Yeah.
Except for maybe Affleck. Well, but who even knows with Affleck?
I think get rid of Affleck. I think he's back on board.
I'd probably get rid of Gadot too, but that's because I don't think she's a great actress.
Affleck was such a good Batman, personally, I thought, but I would like to see more of him. But I just think it's going to end up being confusing with Pattinson, unless they, I don't know, I guess stagger it in such a way. It's going to be confusing.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting.
They're definitely putting them into a corner, I think.
And they're doubling down now on Man of Steel. So, like, I guess maybe we are keeping everybody.
Yeah, they're going like all in on like what Snyder created, even while staying as arm's length away from Zack Snyder as humanly possible. It's still so weird that everything has been DC's like between like 2010 or ever since Nolan left, everything's been based on like all decisions have basically come from the team behind the Dawn of the Dead remake. Like you had the director of it as Zack Snyder, started the whole DC EU like aesthetic and everything, did all the casting, and then you go to James Gunn, the writer of Dawn of the Dead, now becoming the head honcho. It's really weird.
Think about that. That is weird.
I didn't think about that either. That's very strange.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very strange.
I don't know.
When do you think we're going to see like the first product come out of this? Couple like 3 years? You think we'll see something sooner?
2024 probably.
I wonder if it'll be like
2024 is quick.
My thought is
everything they've got announced is coming out next year.
Mm-hmm.
Right? What do we got? Shazam, Aquaman, Flash, and Blue Beetle all come out next year, as of now. Joker's 2024, but that's in its own world. The Batman 2 will probably be 2025. So yeah, I guess 2025 is probably the realistic time frame.
And I'm thinking Man of Steel probably is going to be something like that, or I don't know, Black Adam, if I don't know. But I was thinking Man of Steel because he's not going to be in Witcher anymore. He gave up that. So it seems like he's going all in on some project real quickly.
Yeah, the Enola Holmes franchise. Second one drops this weekend.
I was going to say the second one comes out. I still haven't seen the first one.
It's okay.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
It's fine. Yeah.
But yeah, what's interesting though. I don't know if this. Well, no, this is probably before they even knew Gunn was involved. But what we see of Henry Cavill's Superman in the most recent movie, because I don't even know that I consider this a spoiler because it's been spoiled for everybody except for Corey.
Yeah, I was not spoiled about it. That's for sure.
He's got like his suit looks like it's lighter in color. He's got like the curl going, like the Superman that you see. You got the John Williams score in the background. It's kind of like a little bit of a departure from the Man of Steel Superman. So I don't know if that signified anything or they were just like.
No, I hear they're going lighter tone with Superman.
They should. That's when Superman works.
It's a tricky balance because it didn't work in Superman Returns.
But
that was also more, I think, the script.
Captain America has been like the best, like
he's got
version of like that type of character, like the altruistic.
It's the Boy Scout that he's still cool.
Yeah, so it's a tough act to follow, but they've done that. They definitely figured it. They figured out the formula. I guess you just gotta get the Russo brothers to come.
Yeah, I think they could do it. It's tough, like you said. Like Cavill's a fucking good actor. He can definitely do it. You just gotta get the right material in front of him.
Yeah, I guess.
Go ahead.
The other question is the creatives that Gunn brings on. Like, who is he gonna bring on to make these projects? Writers, directors.
Well, Sean Gunn's probably going to be the new Stan Lee and be in everything.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm sure.
Michael Rooker will be will be employed for the years to come.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, everyone loves James Gunn. You see his wedding, like everyone went from both Marvel and DC. He's gonna have a lot of talented people working with him. But I think it's gonna be a hitter. I think it's gonna be very similar to the last 10 years in the fact that they're gonna have hits and they're gonna have misses, and the hits and misses are going to be not as big as the hits and misses that Marvel has, because Marvel is a leg up, has multiple legs up on them at this point. You just can't catch up at this point. But he's gonna have some huge one-off successes, and he's gonna have some failures that are going to be much bigger than a failure that Marvel has.
Mm-hmm.
That's my prediction. And is he going to be the next Kevin Feige? No, because there is only one Kevin Feige.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's right. I don't think there's ever going to be another Kevin Feige. I think we'd all agree that that's You just if someone could clone or like create their own Kevin Feige, like they would have done it by now.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
You can't it's like he's kind of like a one of a kind thing that he's just been able to do something that no one else has been able to do with as much success as he has. And it doesn't seem like even Disney can't duplicate it.
Mm-hmm. No.
They're not able to do it on Star Wars or like any of their other properties.
No, and all they did was inherit him. It's not like they didn't cultivate him or anything. The shit was fully developed by the time that they acquired it.
Yeah.
But Gunn will be better for promoting, I think, than he's got a personality. Feige's got a baseball cap. So I think in that regard, they'll have someone better to be pushing the product.
My hope also is that and we'll see, but if it ends up being he's able to differentiate like the Marvel product, like what they're doing, and do something different with DC. That's my hope. Like, it might not necessarily be better or worse, but it's different. Just doing their own thing, kind of making their own stamp on, the superhero genre type of film. I think that would be the best scenario here. And it would also create competition. Still.
Yeah.
They're not going to catch up to Marvel, as you said. They're not.
No, they got to figure out a way to differentiate themselves, but I don't know, man. Is it a tough job? I don't envy. I mean, I'm sure he's super excited about getting this gig. They both are, but it is going to be very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're being asked to basically do like an almost impossible task.
Yes.
Like the amount of success they're looking for is probably completely unrealistic.
Yeah, probably.
So you're like doomed to fail.
That's what it seems like. They're going to want massive success right out of the gate, and it takes time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah, it's
going to be fun to watch.
Yeah. See if the superhero bubble
it's like trying to turn around
That is also a good point.
Does anyone watch Welcome to Wrexham?
No.
Oh. Well, I can't use that metaphor. Well, yes, I can. It's like trying to turn around a sports team. Like, you gotta... It's not something you can do, like, overnight. You don't just, like, come in and get rid of all the coaches and players and then get all the new coaches and players and then all of a sudden you have a fantastic team. Like, it takes time to rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't think anyone has any patience for it.
Yeah, and it's going to be tough to rebuild in the public realizing that there's a new regime in charge if all the same actors are involved.
Yeah,
that's true too. So if you've already got like a bad taste in your mouth, you don't really know that you don't know that if you don't like Domino's and Domino's has a new like recipe, you don't know that it's got a new recipe. You just know you don't like Domino's. So
exactly.
Yeah, I think going with the same actors might not be the best choice, but we'll see what happens because that's I feel like the best the first thing that they need to do to differentiate the brand from what it has been is the people that are front and center for the brand.
Yeah, like
they're not the same.
Yeah. They're not just versing Marvel, they're versing their own history.
Yeah.
Like they have so much against them.
Yeah.
This has a spectacular flop written all over it. Which I don't want to see. I really like James Gunn a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems tough. Oh yeah, no, I mean he'll be fine. Like he's a fucking filmmaker. He's gonna
make a shit ton of money off of this, and then people will still want him to make movies if this doesn't work out.
So yeah, he'll be fine. All right. So yeah, we're basically all in agreement on this. But any final parting thoughts?
No, I think I'm good.
All right.
That's all. Yeah, as long as I hear Corey by at the end of this, I'll be.
Yeah. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already.
Yeah.
All the socials.
Yep. Follow all the pages. But yeah, as always, this has been Corey, Doug, and Murph at Live Breathe Film. We'll see you again next time, film fans.
Bye.